Hey up! Right, I was going to make this video back in sort of end of June, but other things got in the way, so I put it on a back burner. In fact, I wasn't even certain that there was any real justification for putting this video up. I thought maybe it was just a flash in the pan thing that would die out quickly. In fact, at the time, I wasn't really certain why it was happening. Now, in the time that's passed since June, there's been a lot of coverage on this subject, and it's become a bit clearer to me now what it's all about. Now, I've always worn a white rose pin badge on my main sort of bike jacket, right since the early 1980s. My first sort of touring trip, I bought it from a gift shop. And ever since then, I've transferred that pin badge from, my old jacket to my new jacket throughout the decades until about 8 years ago when I lost my original one. But luckily, I was in North Yorkshire at the time in a cafe which happened to have a few for sale at the counter, so I bought a second one. Now, the original significance of the white rose was that it was the emblem of the House of York. Back in the War of the Roses, some 550 years ago, the House of Lancaster, the rivals, wore a red rose. And although historically both these emblems have bloody connotations of war, they both continue to be emblems of those regions. The white rose is the emblem of Yorkshire. And I wear it not as a divisive rebuke to Lancastrians, I wear it to identify myself as a Yorkshireman, because I'm proud to be a Yorkshireman. Now, throughout the entire length that this channel has been running, another flag, another emblem, has been a major feature of this channel, the Union Jack. I wear an open face helmet and I need something to protect my face from, insects and flying debris, so I wear a snood, and my choice all those years ago was a Union Jack snood. I've also fitted accessories to my bikes that, have the Union Jack emblem on them. Because although I'm a Yorkshireman and an Englishman, I see myself as being a Briton. I come from Britain. I'm proud of Britain. And displaying these emblems to me is a way of showing that pride, as well as a way of showing my identity, my origins. Now, especially where accessories on my bikes are concerned, Union Jack accessories, I've always had a little bit of stick from people, why have you got a Union Jack on that bike? Because it was made in India, surely it should be the Indian flag, or, your bike was made in Thailand, surely it should be the Thai flag. And my reply to those people has always been the same. Doesn't matter where my bike was made, I was made in Britain. It's my bike, so if I want to put a British flag on it, I will. But then, going back to June, the comments started to become a little bit more sinister and more frequent. And these were comments on a whole host of videos, old and new, accusing me of being far right or a racist, telling me that the Union Jack is an emblem of oppression and colonialism. Now, I was gobsmacked at first. I'd never come across this sort of attack on the British flag. I've been brought up to regard it as an emblem of the country that I live in, something to be proud of. The Union Jack is an emblem of unity between Northern Ireland, Scotland, England and Wales. I remember, as a kid during the Queen's Silver Jubilee, there were Union Jacks everywhere. Products made in Britain are proudly stamped as made in Britain, often accompanied by a picture of the Union Jack. It symbolises our history and our national identity. Why, all of a sudden, has it become so divisive? In fact, just 4 years ago, in 2021, our official government website introduced a sort of programme stating that they wanted to see more Union Jacks flown around England. What's changed all of a sudden? Well, I'll tell you what it looks like from my point of view, and it is just my point of view. over the last few years, and it's really ramped up in the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen mass immigration, both legal and illegal, onto our UK shores. And it seems to me that those people immigrating here or seeking asylum here are sort of getting into the country with minimum vetting or checks. They're coming here to take advantage of everything that the United Kingdom can generously give to them, whether that be financial aid or simply better job prospects, to take everything they possibly can. But they don't like the United Kingdom, and they have no intention of integrating into the United Kingdom. In fact, from my point of view, what they want to do is turn the United Kingdom into a satellite state of where they came from. I.e., it seems to me they don't want to integrate into our culture. They want to absorb our culture into their culture. And they see any act of celebration of this country and its culture, by waving our flags around, as a psychological barrier to that happening. They see it as an emblem of resistance which they seek to squash and trample down. So they act outraged at its presence. Some even play the victim card that, the Union Jack or the St George's Cross makes them feel uncomfortable. It makes them feel unsafe, perverting the laws of our nation in persuading authorities to actually assist them in what they seek to do. In fact, it's now become common practice for our police forces to seize the English or the British flag from law-abiding citizens, sometimes even threatening them with arrest for possessing an English flag in a public place in England, under the pretext that it might offend other ethnic groups in the area. Only last week I saw the most disgusting example of biased policing here on YouTube, where a British police officer walked up behind a young lady. Actually, she was a child. She was only 16, so technically still a child. Snatched a British flag from her hands, even though she was already complying with a request from another police officer to put it away, and screwing it up into a ball, showing that flag no respect whatsoever, the flag of his own country, arbitrarily proclaiming that she wouldn't be getting it back. And we're seeing this kind of behaviour more and more because it's part of an ongoing process to remove our national identity and culture from us in favour of something else. That's what it feels like to me. Now, I think part of this is because our current government, our new-ish government, has historically aligned themselves with these ethnic groups. The indigenous population of this country wouldn't vote for them anymore. So, in order to get any chance of getting into power, they align themselves with certain ethnic minorities. I think it's something like 4 or 5 million votes came from these ethnic minorities. So they've put themselves in a really difficult position now, where the majority of this country don't like what's going on, but they don't want to upset that 4 or 5 million sort of voting base that they've got in these groups of people. Because they know now that, they've caused so much damage to the voting base in the indigenous population of this country that that's pretty much all they've got left. And they can't afford to lose it with, various types of election coming up. It seems to me that the British identity and culture is being sacrificed at the altar of Labour's voting base. So if you're one of those people like me, a white male of a certain age, or even a white female of any age, and you feel as though, your rights are gradually being eroded away, it's not just you. That is actually happening. You're not alone. Our current government is dead in the water. They're desperate. They foolishly believe that the silent majority in this country would stay silent forever. But over the last year, we've got louder and louder, which is why he's brought in this new rhetoric of the Union flag or Union Jack has been hijacked by far-right activists. It hasn't. There may be an element of that, a tiny element, but it hasn't been hijacked. The majority of people in this country, law-abiding, centrist citizens, simply see our national flag as a symbol of passive resistance, nothing more. Displaying your national flag is not divisive. It's only divisive in the eyes of those that seek to destroy our identity and culture. In a blatant act of gaslighting, Starmer has vowed to reclaim our national flag, but it doesn't need reclaiming. That's simply a rhetoric that he's invented to make us all doubt ourselves. A vain attempt to make us feel ashamed, and you've got no reason to feel ashamed. Now, my reaction when I started getting these comments back in June was to immediately go on Amazon and buy myself a job lot of pin badges. Union Jack, St George's Cross. Actually, I don't have enough of them. I've just ordered some more, so I've got one on every jacket so that I don't have to keep swapping them around from one jacket to another. Now, if you live in Northern Ireland, Wales or Scotland and you don't feel inclined to wear the Union flag, you don't have to. These pin badges are available in the national flag of your country as well. Wear that if you want to, and wear it with pride and without apology. It's a display of pride, national identity and passive resistance to a regime that is taking this country in exactly the wrong direction. It worries them. It bothers them because it's an unmistakable symbol that we are not going to allow them to have it their way by destroying our culture and our national identity. And I've got a message for those people. You know, if you don't like it here, if you don't like the British people, if you don't like any symbol of Britain, you're free to leave this green and pleasant land at any time. I absolutely guarantee no one will try to stop you. Right, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this and my other videos, and in doing so, helping to support this channel. I really do appreciate it. This is a video that I never thought in a million years I would ever have to make, but, you know, I don't take crap from anybody. And it reaches a point where, you know, some things just have to be said, and I've got it off my chest now. Now, please leave a like and hype this video. That's a new feature that YouTube's put up that allows you to help your favourite creators sort of, you know, get up in the view ratings. That is, if the hype button is available to you on your browser. I know it's not available in all territories. Now, there are other ways that you can help me out via my Patreon page or via PayPal donations. Or you can use the super thanks button down below. Not essential, but it does help me out. I'll be back on Friday with something a bit different. I think the ride footage in this video possibly gives you a clue to what that is. So until then, if you're riding, please ride safely, and I'll see you soon.